Alrighty, boys. Dragon Chains at your service. What is up, guys? Oh my god. What is up? How is everyone? How is the lovely people? Oh my god, yeah. How are you guys? I'm so sorry. These last few months, I haven't been able to. I've been doing like one stream every month, but whatever. As you can tell, I'm pretty fucking happy. Things are super great. Like really good. You know what? Real quick, I got some more rings. I don't have one on my thumb here, but that's okay. This is the important one, is the dragon. That's my strength ring. That's my be strong like a dragon. He's pretty cool. You can't really. Oh man, I wish my camera was a little bit better so I could show you how he looks. But that's my little dragon. He's cool. Um, One on my pinky. I had these two before on my ring finger and my middle finger, but now we're like set on this one. I don't know if I'm gonna get. I'm probably gonna get one on my thumb because I have one on my thumb over here already. Um, then we have Uncle Mike, which is the skull. I've been wearing those two for the longest time, and we have a new scorpion. So that one's pretty fleshed out too. Um, yes, these are two different rings here. I can't imagine my hand without the other one because shit. Oh, sorry guys. So Uncle Mike and this one go hand in hand. They were bought by my uncle. He's dead. And these rings were now passed on to me. These two in particular, not this one, this one. The skull and the hand. Skull, hand, skull, skull, hand, 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 skull, hand. This one's just extra decoration. Actually, pretty much the only ones that are important are the ones on my index fingers. This one is important, but not as important as this one. Both of these on my index fingers are sterling silver, and the rest of them are just, well, this one is sterling silver, but the rest of them are just like stainless steel. So stainless, 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 stainless. I am here to just give you guys an update. I know we haven't done video games in a while, and if you know, if anyone's been keeping up with me, you would know that I can't play video games right now. We are gonna have to wait just a little bit longer. So we're kind of on month number 4 as far as sorry, as far as my plantar's fasciitis. Sorry. We've been healing that for about 4 months. Typically, plantar's fasciitis can last up to 6 months, even if a year if you're not keeping up with your stretches, if you're not going on walks, if you have unsupportive shoes, if you have a bad chair that cuts off your circulation, you're never gonna heal. Particularly that last one with the bad chair. You have to get one that's good. Don't get chairs that cut off your circulation. Most chairs don't. Even office chairs don't really, because like you're sitting on your butt. You're not particularly cutting off your circulation to your legs. Your butt has enough surface to just get you through. I'm gonna have to rip this video and I'm gonna have to post it on YouTube because I like giving people updates. Anyway, the progress. Holy shit. the progress. Now, last time I talked to you guys about a month ago, I had mentioned that I was previously suicidal and had changed my mind. I now want to live, and the cause of a lot of my prolonged pain was because I was suicidal and I didn't really find much purpose in life. So I'm gonna actually pull out my little notebook here. Um, I'm very hard to convince, especially when it comes to convincing myself to live. That was one of the hardest things that I've had to go through, but it's okay. Um, so I have this journal here, and it has just a small amount of things of gratitude. Now, a month ago I was still really, really, really suicidal. It was bad, um, which made my pain worse. My body was telling me, "Hey, you can't do this anymore. You can't be suicidal, or I'm gonna give you pain." Um, Generally, you could be fine even if you are suicidal. Only 1 in 5 people get chronic pain, and the truth of the matter is that I never really had chronic pain. Well, sort of. It's complicated. Um, so like I guess we're in story time. I had this really, really, really bad girlfriend. Um, I broke up with her, and then I started doing this streaming thing. And in one of my first streams in my Elden Ring playthrough, I even called her out. I knew she was watching, and I said that I hated her. And well, I still kind of hate her. But I wish the best for her, just because generally, I don't want her to have a shitty life. I do want her to prosper and, do normal fun things like everybody else. But this bad girlfriend, I mean, I was bad too. What can I say? I generally was a bad person. It was not good. I was not a good person to her. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Autumn. I know you're probably not watching, but if you ever do find this video, I'm sorry, Autumn. I didn't mean to put you through that much. I didn't know how to deal with my own situation, so I took it out on you, and that is not fair. We all make mistakes. I just happened to make a really, really big mistake. I really do want you to have the best life. It just can't be with me. Anyway, this bad girlfriend, um, we spent 5 years together. And during that time, um, we never, like, I was a very active kid before I met her. We never really did anything that was like active. Um, Even as simple as just walking around the block. We would stay at home, sit on our ass, and I mean, we'd fuck it every once in a while, but that's about it. Hey, my one viewer. Oh, I love you. I love you so much, my one viewer. I love you. Um, anyway, we just generally didn't do a lot of exercise. I was actually getting kind of fat. Like you could see it in my chin. It was getting big there for a second, and it got to a point like we were always eating fast food as well. It got to the point where I couldn't do it no more. Right at the end there, I was okay with like my one cat, Mochi, which I have with me now, which is forever mine. Sorry. Um, I have her medical papers and they're literally mine. I signed the papers. She's mine. She is mine and there's nothing that you can do about it. Um, we had the one cat and that was fine. We were getting along. Um, like me and Autumn even were getting along with just the one cat. And then right at the end there, now this wasn't the cause of me breaking up with her, but it led to me kind of breaking up with her. We got another cat. And I was like, oh fuck. that well, actually, first it was the dog. We got a dog. Sorry. Um, I was not good to that dog. I wish I could have been better. I always yelled at the dog. I always spanked it on the ass for peeing in the house, and we got the dog. I was the only one taking care of it. She never took the dog on walks. And there's Mochi, my love. Uh, After we got the dog, about 3 months later, we got another cat, and that means that me and her were living in a studio apartment with two cats and a dog. That was way too much for me to handle. But I said yes to all of it because I didn't want these animals to be just like killed or like left to the wild, or I thought we could take care of them. I was so wrong. Um and I've been going on about Autumn for a while, but what it led to was we eventually broke up. And during my time with her for 5 years, I was heavily suicidal because I thought I was like trapped with her. I thought we were gonna get like married, and I had no choice, and I had no backbone. Um, these days, I have where is it? There it is. I have this one. This is my stronghold. These are my standards, and I do not let anyone take down my stronghold. You cannot burn my castle down. And that was a good moment when I had to come to realization that I am better than dealing with all this shit. So I looked at her one day and I was like, why are we together if we just like yell at each other and hate each other? And she just like straight up agreed. Like, it was the first time that we didn't argue about it. We just like gave each other that look, and we just knew, like, you know what? Yeah, why are we together if we just like hate each other? So we decided that I would stay at the apartment. Um, it would She would take the cat and the dog, and I would have Mochi. Um, and fuck, what am I trying to say? Oh yeah. So I actually helped her move into her new place with her friends. Um, Although I did have to clean the entire apartment and like separate my stuff from her stuff. Um, she might not have gotten everything that she wanted, but in my eyes, is if you wanted the shit, you would have fucking come and get it. I gave you a time when I was cleaning up the place, and she did not come and grab her shit. So I put it all into trash bags, and some of it really was trash. I just threw it out, and some of it, most of it, I gave back to her. I did find this ring in the trash, though. This was supposed to be our like promise ring or something. I don't. Yeah. This one right here was my promise ring. I've been wearing that on my finger longer than I've worn any other ring. I don't look at them badly at all. I just like rings. It doesn't hold a whole lot of significance to me. It's more like a timestamp of like when I was with that girl, and I can look back and be like, oh yeah, I'm better than that now. Um, I do love my rings though. Ooh. Um, and so like that happened, and then I started running out of money. Um, to pay for actually yeah. I started slowly running out of money to pay for that apartment. Um, I just knew like I could do it until the lease was up. Um, and I did. But after the lease was up, I was like, what am I doing? I can't make a fucking single dollar here. Um, I'm just losing money. So I moved out of that apartment back in with my parents, which is where I'm now, where I'm at. Um, and the thing was, is that after all that, I was still depressed. You know, I was still very suicidal. Um, I knew something had to change. Um, I didn't quite know what it was at first. I took like a year to myself to figure out what I needed. And the conclusion I came to was that I needed to get off of everything. And there was only one way that I could get off of all my addictions. That was streaming. And streaming is still a big part of my life, even though I didn't, I got into some bad pain, um, which we'll play video games again. It's only a matter of time. I can't go in this life without playing some games. But I started the stream Dragon Chains January 1st, 2023, which is this year. I literally started the new day of the new year. It was the only time that I looked at myself and like I actually hate New Year's. Everyone has a New Year's resolution and they never fucking follow it, right? I had never done that. I had never made like a New Year's resolution up until that moment. So me being 26, I said this year's going to be different. So I made the New Year's resolution that we'd get off all the drugs and the alcohol. And I did. That was one of the easiest things that I personally have had to do. Not saying that it wasn't hard, it definitely was, and I had to figure out a lot of things, but generally, it was one of the easiest things that I've had to go through. So, within 5 months of streaming, and I think right at the end of my Zelda Breath of the Wild 100%, I just straight up quit everything. I remember clearly it was alcohol first because that was the easiest, nicotine, and then it was the weed. Nicotine was the hardest, and I knew that. That's why I had to go with weed last because weed was kind of that middle ground where it was hard, but it also was pretty easy. Nicotine was the roughest one of them all. The way I got rid of nicotine was you have this motion puffing the vape. First off, get off the cigarettes, switch to vape. That was the first move for me. Probably would help a lot of other people too. Cigarettes are terrible and highly addictive. Vape, I mean, you can kind of just lower the percentage of the nicotine every single time that you get one. So you can literally just wing yourself off it slowly. But vape, you have it in your hand, you right, and it's that motion, right? Looks like this, kind of looks like I'm sucking some dick, and so I realized that I needed some sort of stimulation from something else. If I was going to quit nicotine, All I needed to do was slowly take less and less puffs every single day. And then when I was ready, I replaced this motion with this motion. I had these Monster energy drinks that gave me mostly the same satisfaction. It wasn't exactly the same, but it was really good enough, honestly. And if I didn't, if I didn't have the Monster, I also had like ice cream. Just simple things. As simple as they were, they did a hell of a job because my brain was tricked into the satisfaction of what if I craved a cigarette. Boom! I'm opening up the can of fucking um, Monster, and I would just once I'm done with the whole can, I forget that nicotine was even a thing. I would just straight up forget, and so that's how I got rid of nicotine. Weed was pretty simple. I just smoked less and less and less every single day until I was just ready to just stop. Once I quit everything, that's when the problems started. That's when the pain came through. That's when I noticed that I had been abusing my body in a way that most people don't. I'm a very, very hardworking man, and I know that now just how hard I really was working. I was using every single muscle to my fullest, especially in my arms and even in the legs. Although the legs, whatever, we'll talk about that. So, pretty much immediately after I quit all my addictions, I had stopped taking my antidepressant pills because they were keeping me up at night. I had no more dopamine going through me, which, being suicidal already, getting rid of your dopamine, not through only addictions, but also through the antidepressant pills, it did something to me. It was a chemical reaction in my brain that knew that I was probably going to commit suicide very soon. Like, really soon. Because I had nothing left. I had nothing more to live for. And so, as I was experiencing pain, I only got more of it. I started with the plantar fasciitis, and that one wasn't the worst yet. It started as plantar fasciitis. So I got the plantar fasciitis, didn't really do anything about it, didn't stretch, didn't walk, just tried to wait it out. That was the worst decision I ever made in my life. Um, that led to having plantar fasciitis and Achilles tendonitis. Once the foot got massively bad, that's when I knew we were in for some trouble. So I started going to therapy again, and I had to finally get some physical therapy, and um, I have a little bit of pain management that I go to. I saw a podiatrist that didn't give a shit about me. Um, I had seen a lot of people, especially even my primary care doctor. Um, we got the plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis, and then my arms started to hurt too. So I got even worse as time went on. And the arms in particular developed de Quervain syndrome and radial nerve entrapment. And once I got all these conditions all at once, I couldn't use my legs, I couldn't use my arms. I literally had to go down to 1 day of work. I was losing money. I still am losing money. I have barely fucking anything left. That's when I knew suicide was coming soon. Everything that I had ever loved had been stripped away from me. couldn't play video games. I couldn't be active. I couldn't even sit for more than 30 minutes. Mochi, what the fuck? That's when I had to make the change. So, I'm the kind of guy that doesn't give up that easily. I love you, Mochi. I did give up. That was very true. That's why my body was giving me these signals. We're like, okay, if you're giving up, I'll just throw you some pain. Which is the weirdest thing, if you think about it. Why do humans do that? Why is our mind affecting how we feel physically? That should not happen. I don't know what kind of evolutionary shit we did to have that happen, but that's not okay. We got to get out of that. So yeah, I had to make the decision, after doing hours and hours and hours of research on chronic pain. I had to make a final decision. Do I want to die or do I want to live? Ultimately, I mean, you see me now. I definitely want to live. Definitely want to live. It's a bit of a struggle because when you've been that suicidal for 5 years, it's hard to get your mind out of that state of negativity, especially when you're dealing with insomnia as well. So I had to fix some of these problems. It started with stretching. I was not doing nearly enough stretching. I was doing maybe one thing of stretching per stream. You can even see it in my previous streams that I would do like one stretch and then I would go on a walk, and that was it for the entire day. Realistically, living with this pain, I needed to do more like 4 or 5 stretches and walks. Which, by the way, when we do get back into video games, I will be stretching and walking a little bit more. We'll also be playing video games a lot less. No more 8-hour streams, no more 6-hour streams. The longest stream I'm willing to do with playing video games is 4 hours. At least for right now. I definitely have to get way more heal. Maybe next year I can play as long as I want, but right now, in like a month or two, when I get back into video games, because it's kind of soon. We will only be doing, like, honestly, it probably won't even be 4 hours, especially the first one. The first one's going to be like 2 or 3 hours. I definitely want to play some Elden Ring. I also want to play Tears of the Kingdom. I want to play Mario 64. I've never played that game, but I have it. I don't have an N64. I have the 3D All-Stars version. There's all these games that I want to play still. I just can't do it as often because I fucked up my thumb doing chainmail and making that fucking suit. I've shown you guys once or twice. But I made a chainmail suit, and it took me 3 years, and it ruined my arms. Which is what led to the problems in my hand. So technically, these injuries did come from something. I overabused my arms, and I technically abused my feet by having them on a uncomfortable chair and cutting off my circulation. Cutting off circulation to your legs can literally develop plantar fasciitis and Achilles tendonitis depending on what you do. I have a new chair. It's a little recliner chair. It's pretty nice. Not bad. Once I had gotten the correct amount of stretching and the correct amount of walking as well. So I walk 4 or 5 times a day. We're getting more closer to 3 or 4 times a day, but it's definitely still like 4. Once I had done that, I then could focus on my insomnia problems because without sleep, I'm basically not healing, which is kind of scary when you think about it that way. The more anxiety you have about sleep, the less sleep you're going to get. So I had to get rid of my anxiety too, which I didn't even know I was dealing with because generally I don't worry about a bunch of shit. Generally. Yeah, so I fixed a lot of these problems. And as far as it goes, you know, we are literally more than halfway done. This healing thing, this chronic pain, I did have the plantar fasciitis like maybe 1 or 2 years ago, but I didn't do anything about it because I was smoking weed. So that one technically is chronic pain, but I wouldn't consider it chronic pain because I didn't start feeling the pain until after I got rid of the weed. Because weed will just hide it. Um, once. Anyway, these arms are definitely the recent one that are healed. This arm in particular does get a little stingy if I do a little too much. Sometimes it'll give me just the slightest amount of pain, but I don't think I'm abusing it the way that I was. It's just when I go into work that sometimes, not all the time, it's just sometimes it creeps up a little bit, but we also have to get rid of the fear. You basically have to tell yourself that it's okay to go to work and you're not going to get pain from it, which is hard. It's hard to tell yourself, I'm not going to get pain from working today, when in the past it definitely gave me pain. The leg, well, one leg in particular is just straight up healed. Also, one arm, this arm, just healed. There's nothing wrong with it. My left leg, absolutely nothing wrong with it. The last thing that I am dealing with, other than a little bit of whatever's going on in my arm, is not even plantar fasciitis anymore. It's just the Achilles tendonitis. Which is why I say to you guys now that I am more than halfway done with healing. And we'll get back to streaming. Granted, I'll only be able to do streams for a little bit. Once it's November, I have a surgery to take the plate out of my arm. I can't really show you guys. There's not a good angle. Yeah, there's like not a good angle. I have a scar in my arm from when they put a plate in me when I was like 13. We have to take that out. We have to. That pain goes back further than the pain that I deal with now, but it does go away, which is why I never did anything about it. Also, I was smoking weed and I didn't give a shit. But if I do like 4 or 5 days of dishwashing in a row, that arm starts to really hurt. Bad. But that's just because of the plate. There's nothing else going on in there. And like, since I've only been working 1 day out of the week, it doesn't even bother me at all. But I do have to get it out. And that means, again, we won't play video games for just a little bit longer. That's in November, though. I feel like by the end of this month, I could probably play a little bit, at least for a month, of video games, which would be great. Maybe like once every 2 weeks. I can't imagine doing it every week because that's a little bit too much. But that's just to start. Once my hands get used to playing video games, we can do it for longer. And like I said, we can probably play video games in October. Once it's November, I have a surgery on the 8th. And that will stop me from playing video games for at least another month. Probably a little bit longer, probably like a month and a half. Anyway, we'll do some stretches real soon here. But let me just list off some of these things. I made myself a new bucket list, which was probably one of the more important things to do. But let me just read some of these things of gratitude. Because before, I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to die. And the pain made me think that I was going to die. Because it just got worse and worse and worse. Once I changed my mindset from I don't want to live to I definitely want to live and see myself get better, I had to write this list. These things of gratitude. My strength rings. This one in particular. I am very grateful. If I can be strong like a dragon, nothing can hurt me. My cat. Perfect timing. I am very grateful for my cat. She's one of the few things that I can't die. I cannot die. This cat would be way too lonely, and as much as I love my family, I don't want them taking care of her. I want to take care of her. She's mine. I am actually very grateful that I have a place to live and I'm not homeless, because then I actually would be dead. Or worse, on drugs. Honestly, being on drugs would be worse. So I'm very grateful that I can stay here, even though I'm in pain and I can't pay rent. I'm very grateful that my parents just let me be. Let me heal. Because being homeless, I would have never healed. I would have died. I'm very grateful that my arms have healed at last. Yeah. They're like almost 100% healed. We got like 10% left in this arm. The other one is completely fine. I'm very grateful that I bought my video games when I did. Oh, by the way, I did a playthrough of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, and like the entire playthrough, I was just like complaining. I was like, Nintendo, why don't you love Paper Mario? Why won't you remake this game? And they did. They just had a Nintendo Direct like yesterday, and Paper Mario is coming to Switch. Oh my god. Thank you. I hate you, Nintendo, but thank you. What the fuck? Now people don't have to buy a $300 GameCube because they don't know about how the Wii plays GameCube games. And then they won't have to buy a $150 game, because I definitely bought it for like $150. I'm probably going to buy the remake. It's a good game. I'm making a new album of music with this guy named Nick. It's some of the best work that I've put out there. That'll come within a year or two. I'm grateful for that. Oh, I guess I wrote down twice that my arms and one leg has healed. The biggest thing that I'm grateful for right now is One Piece. Yes, the anime. One Piece, I could not have watched it at a better time. Some of the things that I went through directly correlate to what I was watching. I literally watched Luffy, the main character, for guys that don't watch fucking anime. I watched him go through literally the worst thing that he's ever gone through. Saw him broken down not only once but twice. And I only saw him got better and have the strength to keep going. That's what I've had to do. Looking back 4 months later, I'm probably more strong than I have ever been before. One of the quotes really got to me. What makes a man is not only his victories, but his failures as well. I don't want people to ever live with chronic pain. I don't want people to know what that's like. Turns out 1 in 5 of us will have chronic pain. And a lot of it, when I did all my research and everything was done, a lot of it is about what's going on up here. Something as simple as not having a safe environment to live in could lead you into chronic pain. We're going to do some stretches, but... But yes, I am doing a lot better. As far as it goes, I can sit for a pretty long time these days. Not that I'm trying to sit on my ass all the time. I definitely need to go on walks and do my stretches. But for only being 4 months later, I've made so much progress. I can't particularly see it. I tend to be blinded by what I've done and how far I've come. It's hard for me to see it. But I know that I've made the progress that I need to survive. Okay, this is probably the boring part for most of y'all, but whatever, it's my life, it's my stream. We're gonna do stretches. I love you too, Mochi. That's right. Okay. First stretch. Get that shit out of here. We're gonna do 20 of these. I don't know what to call these, but we're gonna do 20 of them. Mochi. Okay, you're gonna go down and you're gonna go up, okay? Let's call that 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Okay, moving on. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. We're gonna do 20 of these. Again, I have no names for these stretches, but you'll see. First one, I like to really get my back stretched because it feels good. Oh. Okay, that's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry. I was yawned. 12. Oh, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I gotta tell myself that nothing can hurt me, even these stretches. These stretches cannot hurt me. I am strong like a dragon. We're doing the same thing, but on the other side. 1. Oh yeah. Hold up. Oh. 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 That one always gets me, the first one. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. You know, I'm actually thinking about going to college. I want to be a therapist. I love helping people, and if I can help people understand their emotions, because I've been through some of the worst and some of the best. I've seen both sides. That would be one of the best things I could do. At first I thought I wanted to be a firefighter. And it's not like I don't want to be a firefighter. If I could, I would. I got 2 balls right here. We're gonna roll our feet with these balls. These nuts! But yeah, no, I wanna be a therapist. My understanding of emotions and how people develop psychological issues, what they go through. I have literally heard some of the worst stories ever. I've met some people that were in dire need of a friend or someone to just listen to. Even just the other week, I have this buddy, and he's got some issues, but as long as I'm here to listen to him, he can, talking it out actually is one of the best things that someone can do, even myself. Because once you say it out loud, it's not just in your head anymore. It becomes a reality. And once you realize, once you've said it and you realize what you're saying, you start to really learn about yourself and how to deal with these issues. So a lot of the process of healing
is, and not just physically, emotionally, is just having someone that you can relate to and someone that's there to listen. And they're not just listening to you, they're fully understanding of what you're going through. I have this severe belief that nobody deep down is a monster or is a horrible person. Nobody is born evil. It's what led up to their psychological issues that made them a bad person. And even when you're a bad person, I still believe that there's good in your heart and that can be changed. None of us start evil. But if you grow up in a bad situation, abuse, other things that are hard to talk about, that can definitely lead you into being a horrible person. A good example is that if you grew up and your parents just beat you every single day until you're 18, you're very likely to pass on that trait and start beating your own children. Personally, I've never been beaten. Not me. Not anyone in my family. But I know someone who has. Now, he grew up getting beaten no matter what. He could be a nice guy, he could yell at his parents, and he would still get beaten. It didn't matter what he did, he would always just get beaten. Later in life, it's not that you'll always become that bad person and you'll start beating your children, because this man actually went through life getting beaten, getting yelled at, and he started his own family. He's literally never once yelled at his children unless it was something that he had no control of, or he kind of had to, but he never intentionally like just yells at them. And to this day, he's never laid a hand on any of his children, ever. We're gonna do 15 of these things, but I'm gonna keep going with my story. Goes like this: you start low, lift up with your leg. Okay? Okay. Anyway, all he wanted his entire life was children of his own, a family that would know what it's like to not get abused. And he successfully did it. He is one of the sweetest men I've ever met. He came from a rough scenario, but that never made him a bad person. Bad things were done to him, but he decided there was no need to be a bad person. He knew that passing down these traumas would only lead to a family that hates him. Even when his grandpa died, his father, not his grandpa, when his father died, the man that beat him, he still went to his funeral. I attended that funeral with him. And that just tells me that he has one of the sweetest hearts of anyone that I've ever met. How do you go to someone's funeral that is your father knowing that your entire life he only treated you like trash, like something to beat up when he was just angry. And yet he went anyway. Literally could not have asked for a better person. I think that's 10 to 15. So, me being me, and having gone through the worst of it with my suicidal issues, my depression, and having studied people my entire life, I want to be a therapist. It's my knowledge of how people act. I've watched them my entire life. I have studied how people react to certain things. It is my knowledge of how people will react. It is invaluable. It is one of the best traits that I have. I am one of the people that even in myself, I can recognize problems within an instant. And my therapist will be like, wow, you figured that out pretty fast. People take months and months and months and months to figure out that the chronic pain just needs to be reprocessed into something better. I found out within a month or two. Okay, we're going to do this weird stretch right here real quick. Put your foot up against the wall. Lean in to the wall. And we hold it for like 30 seconds. But my journey of having to go to therapy and learn about myself and other people is one of my greatest strengths. Sorry, it's a really weird angle and I don't like this. Hold it for about 30 seconds. I like to do like 40. I haven't really been keeping track of this foot, like the time. I think that's been about 40 seconds. Cool. Okay. Do it with the other foot. Yep. I don't know. It doesn't make sense for me not to be a therapist at this point. The fact that I can help other people when I'm in a shitty situation as well. I've been in pain for 4 months and I only flipped out once because I was in severe pain, but every other day I've only been helping people. Give them a smile. Someone to hear. Someone they can rely on. Even my own best friend depends on me for support. He knows what I've been through. And he knows that I can help him too. As shitty as our situations might be. We all go through something different. Each and every one of us. But it's how you combat your problems that make you you. The last thing I needed to experience was pain. Physical pain. Alright, we're going to do this one stretch real quick. It's like this. Get yourself on a plank of wood and just tippy toe. Go kind of slow. We're going to do like 15 of these. Okay. Whatever. You can't see my... Oh my god, I'm just thrusting my dick. Okay. Haha. We'll just... Here we go. You can still see me. Okay, this is... Okay. But, yeah. Now, I do know that I have to go through college,
which I never really wanted to. To be perfectly honest, I didn't want to get myself deeper into debt. But it's not about the money for me. If you know me, it's never been about the money. I never started streaming for the money. I never started making music for the money. Everything that I do is for myself. The albums that I've made, the streaming, and going to college will be the final thing that I do for myself. Well, not the final thing, but it'll be the final thing that helps me become better. I just love helping people. Not everyone is like that. Not everyone is like me. I understand that a lot of people don't like helping others, but I do. I went to my grandmother probably not about 2 or 3 days ago. And the entire time I'm just trying to help her get out of that wheelchair. Now, I never physically got to the point where we got her out of the wheelchair, because that's actually, I know that's going to take some time. But we did some physical therapy, and we even got her outside. Hell, we fucking, by we, I mean me, we got her out of her own fucking room, because that's where she's most miserable. She just lost her significant other, her husband. And realistically, she's not really that great of a person. Not really at all. But I just don't want her to be alone. It's just who I am. She's pretty racist too. I kind of hate that. Like, pretty racist. She just grew up in that time, and it's not an excuse, but it's still like, I just deal with it. Whatever, she's old. She can say whatever the fuck she wants right now. She's gonna die soon anyway. I'm just trying to give her a little bit of human interaction. If I was her age, granted I'm not shitty like her, but if I was her age, I wouldn't want to be alone in a nursery home with no hope. Just sitting there in pain. Because she definitely has chronic pain. She never made that decision to not be suicidal after her son left her. Real quick. Okay, we're gonna do this stretch. You just lift one of your feet and you turn it towards, see that? You turn it towards your foot. You bring your heel down just a little bit. Hold it for like 30 seconds. I know she's not a good person, my grandmother. But part of me can't leave her alone to rot. Like I said, even though you might be a bad person, deep down, there's probably something good in you. You just got put into situations that led to you being a pretty horrible person. Now, she still is a bad person, but she's not entirely bad. Well, I like to believe she's not entirely bad. Now, I don't gain really anything out of seeing her other than the satisfaction of knowing that I made someone smile. And that's enough for me. One of the toughest things you can do is be nice to someone that you hate. I don't necessarily hate her, but knowing what she did, I'm not going to talk about it. I should hate her. I should treat her like she's a monster. But I don't. Even myself, I'm still trying to figure out why. But I think it really does come down to she's lonely and I don't want to see her suffer. Doesn't even necessarily make me a good person either. But I just can't watch her suffer like that. Okay, real quick. We're gonna do this stretch. Oh, wrong way. That's my Twix. Okay, leg out. Not too far. And forward. Hold that for about 30 seconds. I don't know, man. What would you do? You got a shitty grandmother that you know is a horrible person, but she's all alone and she's suffering. What do you do? The rest of my family won't even take a chance to see her. Even her own son. Yet I go and I see her like once a week. Maybe it's because she's family. Maybe it's because I know she's suffering. Or maybe deep down, I just want to be as good as I can for her final days. Now, I know her situation. She's in a wheelchair. There's not really a chance that she's ever gonna not be in that wheelchair. She can't take care of herself, which is why she's in the nursing home. Now, there's people in there that can take care of her. It's not my responsibility. But I try to do my most that I can, even though it's not my job. I kind of wish that I could have helped out my other grandmother, the one that's now dead, as much as I could have. I wish that I could have been there for her more. Back then, I was still on all my drugs and alcohol. And she lived in North Carolina, so I live in Colorado. Not gonna happen. Okay, we're gonna do kind of a variation. Put your leg out forward, but this time we're gonna scoot your back leg forward as well, like closer together. Down. We're gonna go down. Just trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Well, right now, my journey is about me. As much as I love helping other people, I've had to take these 4 months and just focus on myself. In my eyes, that's pretty selfish, especially since I'm living rent-free. But there's no way I would have come out of this if I didn't. I do now know that sometimes you need to take care of yourself. Most of my satisfaction came out of helping others, shitty or not. Realistically, the only thing I have left to say is that we will play video games once again.
I'll be able to talk with you guys. We'll have some fun. It won't be as long, but it'll be fun. That's what matters. Some of my greatest memories are not when I went to Hawaii. It's not when I went to Italy. It's when I played games like Zelda, The Wind Waker. I want to share those experiences with you guys. Those are some of the best experiences anyone can encounter. It teaches you things subtly. For example, Wind Waker is a game about growing up. I literally played that in my childhood. Well, so is Ocarina. More so Ocarina than fucking Wind Waker. But either way, okay, this one, yeah, you're just gonna like grab one foot and just kind of dangle there for like 30 seconds. I don't know. I wouldn't trade these experiences for anything. Not a single damn thing in the world. Some of the experiences that I've played video games are irreplaceable. I wouldn't be me if I wasn't for the video games. I wouldn't be a good person. I wouldn't want to help others. I wouldn't want to be the hero. I literally would not be me without these experiences. Zelda in particular. Hell, I don't even think I'd like pirates or medieval stuff. So, you know, we'll get through each and every one of the video games that I own. Yeah, I've been thinking about Star Fox Adventures recently. We're going to play Elden Ring first, but you guys got to experience Star Fox Adventures, dude. That shit, it's decent. It's like another Zelda. It's not the best, but it basically is another Zelda. If you just play it like it's Zelda and just like put it in the same category, it's pretty fun. The game practically makes you 100% it, which is interesting. We'll talk about that when we get there. We also gotta play some Tony Hawk Underground, dude. That shit is fun. That shit is real good. Okay, we have the final stretch coming up here. I like to just kind of wiggle my shit out just a little bit once in a while. But rest assured, I am not done playing video games. I am not done streaming. Hell, this was only the first year of streaming, and we got to celebrate. Ugh. When January 1st, 2024 comes around, we'll have a celebration of 1 year on Twitch. That was the whole point. I think I'm going to go for like 10 years. Which, I mean, I only got like 16 followers, but you know what? I'm not in it for the money. This is the most simple one. You know exactly what I'm doing. We're kind of just reaching to the floor. Both feet forward. I'm in it for the experience. If I can show you guys even just a little bit of my experience through video games, then I will have lived a very, very happy life. And it's not like I want to just stop there. Even once we've played each and every single one of my video games, we can just play them again.
There are certain games on the GameCube that they brought most of the GameCube games back, but there are just some that are irreplaceable. If I can share that experience even through one other human being, I will have done really good.
I think we're about out of time. All in all, I love you guys. I love video games. And I'm not going to quit just because life threw me some pain. Without you guys, I probably wouldn't even be alive. You guys mean everything to me. Truly. I can't thank you guys enough. However, it is my time to go. It's been nice talking. I'm sure I will do this again, like next month. I'm not going to say a week from now, because that's not going to happen. But give me a month. And we might even just play some video games for a little bit. Okay? Alright. I need to get on to my walk. Don't you guys ever stop being good people. The next generation will define the generation after that. And if we can show them true kindness, through love, and understanding, even with mental problems, we can be one of the best generations this world has ever seen. Okay. Dragon Chains! Out. Love you guys. See you next month.